is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Well, I have been told that I have a extreme lack of Avenged Sevenfold lessons on this channel. So starting today, that's going to change. We're going to start to do a bunch of their songs. And we got our work cut out for us because we've got two great guitar players in this band, as you guys probably already know. So today we're going to tackle Nightmare, everything, beginning to end. Solos, rhythms, lots of the harmonies. Might be a few harmony parts I might leave out because really it's kind of really layered on thick. But we'll do the best we can here. So before I do that, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that little notification bell so you'll know when I release a new video. And please check out my Guitar Academy at GuitarLessons365.com and follow me on all the socials. You'll see the URLs pop up on the screen and stuff. All right, let's have some fun. We are in drop D tuning, okay? So just take the low E, drop it down to D, and you're ready to rock. So we're going to start here when the band kicks in. We have a harmony guitar line in the intro, and then we also have underneath it some pretty fast palm muted hits. So let me do the rhythm part under it first, and then we'll take a look at the harmony parts. And then if you have a 3-guitar band, you can do it. If you don't, you just have to choose probably the rhythm and then one of the harmony lines. All right, so here we go. So that's when that comes in. All right, so this is just we go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So it's basically 10 hits. And then you do it again. So lightly palm muted. I'm sure I don't have to walk you through this. If you're trying to play an Avenged Sevenfold song, you know what palm muting is. All right, and then so after we've done that a couple times. And then we start doing more bursts. We go. So we start with kind of a long one, like we did before. So we did like the series of 10 hits. So we have basically 3 of those. So that's basically 3 of that. And then we shorten it up to just 4 hits. Down, up, down, up. And then you finally get to the big power chords, 2 bottom strings open. And then the second half of that second bar there, we just go back to some just rapid alternate picking on that low E with the palm mute. So we have this. Again. And then we have this right here. That kind of closes out the intro. So that is just this really B-flat power chord that starts here. So you get to pick across the first fret on the A, third on the D and the G. Hit that G string twice. Then we go up to the second fret on the A, and then you're going to lift off the pinky there, so you're going to have an open G. And then just do the same picking pattern you did before. So it's 2 on the A, 3 on the D, open G. Same picking pattern again. This goes into like a C major thing, which 3 on the A, 2 on the D, open G. And then just raise that on the 5th string, on the A string, up to 4 there, so go up 1 fret. So all together. All right, so over that, we have a couple of harmony guitar lines. So Sinister Gates is doing this one. All right, so that right there is gonna start here at the 12th fret on the D. Then you're gonna slide into the 14 on the G, hit a couple times, 13 a couple times, 12. Then shift down to the 10th fret there on the G string and go 10 on the D, on the G, 12 on the D, 12 on the A, and then back to 12 on the D. So this. All right, from there we have this. So this is going to be 12 on the A, 11 on the D, 9 on the G. To 12 on the G, and then go 10, 11 on the B. And then you just go back and repeat. All right, so the final time of playing this, as you know, when this part is coming to an end, that last arpeggio is extended a little bit. So we find our little chromatic thing going on there, which they use a lot of chromatic stuff in this track. And they harmonize it too. It's just really cool. So we have, when we get to the, we do that 12 on the A, 11 on the D, 9 on the G, and then you're going to go 8, 9, 10, 11 on the B. Then back down. 11, 10, 9, 8. And then slide to 15. Then 13. Then play 12, 13. And slide to 17. So that goes on over the... All right, so the lower harmony line there, we're still in the intro, guys. It sounds like this. All right, so we have that repeated again, and then at the very end of that, he also changes around a little bit. We have this. And there's yet another harmony line in between those. We're just gonna cut it though, because it's kind of definitely the lowest one in the mix. So we'll, I know that Sinister Gates plays that high one that I just showed you. But this low one's pretty high in the mix too. So let's go. So we play the 7th fret. Fifth fret on the A, and then slide into the 7 on the D a couple times. 6, 5, and then we go 3 on the D, 5 on the A, over to 7 on the low E, back to that 5 on the A. And then we have this little, which is sliding into the 7th fret on the low E string, 4, 7 on the A, and then 5, 7, 8 on the D. Let's repeat all that. So So just repeat that, and then at the very end where we get into the we go to the kind of a little chromatic thing, 5, 6, 7, up to the 8, and then back down. That goes with that. Then slide to 10. I'm sorry, slide to 12 on the D. Then 10. Then 9, 10, and then slide to the 14th fret on the D. So that's really just, it's not really a harmony, that's just kind of playing an octave lower. But those are the two most apparent parts. There's a actual harmony line in the middle. Like I said, it's probably the least important, so at least you have 4 guitar players. It's not going to happen anyway. So let's just stick with what we got here. All right, so coming out of that section, we have that Nightmare. So that's just, you know, alternate picking, kind of a moderate tempo on the low E. And there's a lot of just kind of bar dives, you know, around the kind of 2nd or 3rd fret. Just bar dives and dips. It's pretty random, so I mean, but that's what they do into that part. It's just a bunch of random bar dives and the kind of harmonics around 2.5 fret mark. And just kind of do whatever you want with it. That's what they do live. All right, now we get into the actual verse. So much easier now. All right, so that is just, we're going to play the power chord off the bottom 2 strings, the 3rd fret on the bottom 2. And as you do that, just bend them, kind of pull them towards the floor a little bit. And then you hit the bottom 2 open. And then just alternate pick it on the low E. All right, so this next riff is a little bit difficult to really pick up, so I had to really slow it down because it's palm muted and it kind of moves around quick. It almost sounds like it's the same thing repeated, but it's not. It's first off, we're gonna have this. It's 6-3 on the low E, then 5-3. So that's the first group of 4. And then we go 5-3-0-3. So that's a second group of 4. So we have all right, so just repeat that. In the back. All right, so it's basically that going over and over again. It's pretty easy. Going into that riff, kind of slides down the lick. All right, so then we get to what I call really the kind of the pre-chorus. Starts kind of like that riff, and then gets a little bit more intense with the rhythm. So it's just, all right, so it starts with that bend, then 3 hits on the bottom 2 strings. All right, so that little gap of 3 hits is different than how it's going to be played the rest of the time. Then you're going to hit 3, and then hit the open strings twice. Kind of repeat it like that for a couple of bars. So we have this. All right, so then after a couple of bars of that, we just, instead of going 2 hits after the 3, it's just 1 hit on the open. So like this. And then it gets back to the 2 hits. So you want to think of a riff as just going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, and back to the twos. So 1, 2, 3. 1. And then we get that same. And then that same riff at the end of the second time. Is played twice as long, and then the second half of that, he releases the palm muting and really lets it kind of come out. And then we make it to, now actually over that there's a little fill if you want to do it. Just on the D string, 7, 6, 5, 3, and then over to 5 on the A. And then the same thing, but you just end on the 3. All right, so if you choose to do that, you can have one guitar player play that, the other part. All right, so then we have the chorus. All right, so that starts with the bottom 3 strings open. Big D power chord, and then the C power chord off the 3rd fret of the A string. And then the power chord off the 3rd fret of the low E. I know it's a D string, but so just 3rd fret across the bottom 3 strings. And then the power chord, the B flat power chord off of the 1st fret of the A. So repeat that. So after a couple times, this goes to an A power chord, and then they basically repeat everything in the track. The chorus is going to be longer during the rest of the parts of the song, but they just go back to those bar dives and back to the verse, and back to the pre-chorus and back through the chorus. Everything's the same. So we actually got to fly through a big part of the song there because it was just repeated. All right, and then we get to the interlude section. So there's a lot of harmony guitar work here along with rhythm stuff going on. So basically what I'm going to do here is kind of do it like they play it live, because obviously they can't play all the rhythm guitar parts and the harmony parts live. So I'm going to be playing, first part that I'll play is Zachy Vengeance's part. So he's going to be playing some rhythms part of the time and then some of the harmony guitar work other times. So I'm just going to play that whole section for you real quick. All right, so that takes us into like the bridge section. All right, so he's going to start out here with this. That's the sliding into the 13th on the high E, then hit it a couple times, then 12, 11, then 10, over to 10 on the B. And then we have this line, which is the 11th fret there on the D, 9, 12 on the G, 10, 11 on the B, 9, 10 on the high E. Repeat. But right here we go, kind of play that D minor arpeggio a little bit more. So you kind of roll 10 on the high E to the B to the G, back to the B. Then he ascends a little chromatic lick. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12 on the G, then 9, 10, 11 on the B. All right, so from there we have this 11, 10, 9, 8 on the B, and then slide into 15, and then 13. And you're gonna end it going 12, 13, slide to 17. So we'll hit that whole harmony section there. All right, and then when Sinister Gates' main solo starts, DADGBE just does this. So that's just the bottom 2 strings open, and then a quick double down up, then 3-0. So basically, it's one of those rhythms it's better just to be able to feel instead of trying to count it out. Just so we have. So you can see I'm just doing that down, down, up, down. It's kind of the same thing, just repeated. And then the last time, down, quick little down, up, palm meter, down, up. And then you're going to do that, kind of bending that power chord again. So with this. Repeat. So after a few times of that, we go into this, which is the power chord off the B flat power chord off the 1st fret of the A. Then you're going to move up to the 2nd fret on the A, 5th fret on the D. Then the regular power chord off the 3rd fret. And then kind of do the same maneuver again, up the 4th fret on the A, 7th fret on the D. And now in that tremolo picking section, he plays the lower line there, and then goes into these kind of really crazy licks. So it looks like this. I'll just stop with the tremolo section at the end of the tremolo. So all right, so we have this 10 up to 13, then down to 8, then up to 15. So we have this 10, 13, 8, 15, 12, what is wrong with these numbers? 7, and then up to 13. So once again, 10, 13, 8, 15, 7, 13, and then which is 5, 8, 5, 4, then over to 6 on the B string. So you obviously tremolo pick those. All right, and then we have this section, really cool. All right, so that is a really cool lick, and he's harmonizing that with Sinister Gates. So we have 5-8 on the A string twice, and then 6-7 on the D twice, 6-7 on the G twice, and then you're going to sweep across 7 on the G, 6 on the B, and 5 on the high E string. Then up to 10th fret there, slide up to 13. And then from there, you're just going to do a chromatic line, 13, 12, 11, 10. Same thing on the B. And then go back to the 11 and 10. And then you're going to end his little harmony part. So we have this 15th fret there on the B, and then really quick, we're going to have 13, 14, 15 on the B, and then 12, 13, 14, 15 on the high E. Then you come back down, then 15, 14, 13 on the, stop there on the 13 on the B. And then what he does is he comes down here at the 12th fret on the G string and goes 12, 13, 14, 15 on the G string, and then 13, 14, 15 on the B. Back to that 14. So with this. And then he just goes back to the rhythm, which just kind of chugging on those low power chords there. So, and that's really starting the bridge section too. So, all right, so let me play through Sinister Gates section there. So he will start with the higher harmony part. By the way, underneath this first section is the end of the intro, the rhythms that work at the end of the intro. So there's nothing new to learn there. So let's start here with his harmony part. So that one's got a lot going on. So let's check this out. So we got that high harmony part that went with we did earlier. So this high part is, so that's up to 17 a couple times, 16, 15, then 13, over to 15 on the B. All right, from there we just have this, which is this 14, 17 on the D, to 15 on the G, then 14, 15, 17 on the B, up to 18. And start over that same melody. And then we have this, just that 13 on the high E, 15 on the B, 14 on the G, and back to that 15. And then we kind of go back up a little differently than we did before. So we had this 14, 17 on the D, 14, 15 on the G, and then 13, 14, 15 on the B. All right, so from there we have this, which is just 15, 14, 13, 12 on the B string. Slide into the 18th fret, down to 17, and then hammer 16 to 17. Slide into that 20th fret. And then we have the first licks of the solo. So that's going to be the 17th fret on the high E string. A lot of vibrato on it, and then. So this, I believe, he's economy picking. He does a lot of economy picking, and this kind of how he actually plays this, like this, all 3 notes per string, or all odd numbers across the strings, would really work out to that. So I'm assuming he's probably, and when I see him, it doesn't look like he's doing a lot of strict alternate picking with this, because the hand's not moving that much. And he has a very smooth sound with it, which is kind of what economy picking sounds like. So we have these starts on the 17th fret there on the on the D string. I'll tell you how to pick it in a second. So we have 17 on the D, and then 14, 15, 17 on the G. Same thing on the B. And then shift back here to the 13th fret and play 13, 15, 16 on the high E. So that starts. So the picking, I'm starting with a downstroke into another downstroke on the G. And then we just do an upstroke and then another downstroke across the G and the B. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. If you're interested in economy picking, I have an entire guitar course on economy picking at guitarlessons365.com. Little plug. All right, so then we have this. This was a little bit easier. It's the same picking, but we start with the 15th fret on the D, and then we'll play 13, 14, 15 across the next 3 strings. And then a bend or release down to the 13th fret on the high E. And now we have some a really cool lick with some sweeps and arpeggios and all that fun stuff. All right, so we have 17, 13 on the high E. And then 15, 14 on the B, and then the G. So that's the first time you play through it. Just alternate pick that. And then we have a straight sweep. So that's 17, 13 on the high E, then sweep across there. 15 on the B, 14 on the G, 15 on the D, and to the 17 on the A, and then pick that again with a downstroke. All right, so from there, we have this, 17 on the A, 15 on the D, 14, 15, 14. And then into this, which is into the 15 on the B, 13 on the high E, 17, 18, 17. All right, then to this. So that's a bend and release at the 15th fret on the high E, over to 15 on the B, back to 13 on the high E. And then play 12, 13, 15 into a bend on the high E. All right, and now his tremolo part is a little bit higher. This is what he plays. The tremolo part, once again, is more than 2. It's like 3 harmonies. 3 lines there. So it's a 3-part harmony, but this is the ones that they each play live. The one I showed you earlier is what Zaki Vengeance actually plays, and then this is the one that Sinister Gates plays. So we have 13, 17, 12, 20, 10, 17. So we have this. And then it'll be 8, 13, 8, 7, 5. So all right, so now when Zaki Vengeance is doing this, Sinister Gates is up here. So he has this 8, 12 on the A string, and then 9, 10 on the D a couple times, and then same thing on the G. And then we start a little sweep. And how he actually fingers it is he rolls his middle finger across that D minor arpeggio, across it, sweep it across. It's kind of not the easiest finger to do that with. right, so roll across to the 10th fret on the high E string, then play 13th fret. So then you're going to slide up into the 18th fret, 17, 15, 13. So that's kind of a spread out shape. So now you'll also hear one in the mix higher up, but they don't play that live, so we're just kind of doing what they do live. So that's that 18, 17, 15, 13, then 17, 16, 15, 14 on the B, then back to 15, 14. All right, then he's gonna have this little final thing here. So he starts there, the 18th there on the, slides in the 18th there on the B string. Then he's gonna play 17, 18, 19, then over to 15 on the high E, 16, 17, 18. Then go back down and end on that 17 there, so we have this. And then he basically just goes back up the way he came. And then resolve it there on the 17th fret. So he doesn't do a lower one there. So the pattern's a little bit different than what Zachy Avenged does. So all right, now we have two harmony lines here, but live, he goes and plays the lower one here while Zachy Avenged is doing that rhythm going into the bridge, and it's just plays this 7 a couple times, then 6, 5, 3, and then 5 on the A, 7 on the low E. All right, and then we get to that bridge section, which is just pretty much kind of pretty simple. If you've gotten this far, you can play that pretty easy. All right, so now there's a little guitar lick coming out of that, which is really cool. It's a harmony part, but I'm just going to show one of them, even though they're both doing pretty similar things. It looks like this. So that's starting there, the 17th on the A string, then 14, 15 on the D, and then same thing on the G, then back down. Play this. And then go back up, and then go all the way up, do the same thing on the B string, back down the G. So it's just kind of doing that on those strings the way this. More slower. And then go back up. Then when we get up here, we have this 13th fret on the high E, and then jump up here. This 15, 16, 17, 18. And then we end it there with it at the 17th fret there. All right, let's get through this. This is long. All right, so at the 4-minute and 49-second mark, we kind of change it up to like a halftime feel, some simple chords. This is the first fret power chord off the A, then up to the third fret. All right, so after you've done that a few times, you're gonna basically go up like we did in that Zachy Avenged riff, right before the tremolo picking part. So that's the same thing as that. And then we are home free. We just get back to that kind of riff with a little bar dives on it, and then back into the chorus that just kind of ends like normal on that A chord. All right, so well, I'm wore out. I hope you guys made it through it. There's a lot going on here, as with any Avenged Sevenfold, but if you can get this down, if you have a second guitar player that you can jam it with and do all this harmony work, and you guys get it together, you've really accomplished something. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.